This says, living in a society in which people have accepted Western lifestyle as their way of life brings immorality at every step. Modesty, shame, and honour have no place in Western civilization. That is direct from Didsbury Mosque, and that was given in a very expensive package with DVDs.
All I can say is I have been an attendee of Didsbury Mosque for 30 years or so. And Didsbury Mosque is a mosque that opens its doors to non-Muslims every week on a Sunday. It's a very multicultural community. It's a mosque that invites women in, men in, people of all faiths and all nationalities. And where that's come from, I don't know.
That's absolutely correct. And that was given to me on a Sunday, on an open day. You get tea and biscuits, very, very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Very, very nice people.
It's not an official.
I have also.
All right. Yes, it's not official from Didsbury Mosque.
Hang on. Young women.
I think two lines taken out of context about Didsbury Mosque is unfair.
All right. Sorry, how is that out of context? Hold on. How is talking about British civilization, Western civilization?
Yes.
Out of context.
Well, we don't know who handed it to you or who wrote it. That's
Thank you.
I know. But
it's a charity leaflet that's given out officially from Didsbury Mosque.
All right, you made the point. Thank you.
All right. What more do you want?
The calls for a change of leadership at the Manchester Mosque, where arena bomber Salman Abedi previously worshipped.
Yeah, there are recordings of a sermon reportedly encouraging jihad that have emerged. Police say they are investigating those tapes.
Those who lead the mosque in Didsbury deny the accusations and say the recordings are taken out of context. Emmy Welsh reports.
The message outside this mosque is one of love, but a sermon inside is being accused of inciting hate. And today, prayer-goers in Didsbury defended their place of worship.
It's not true. Those reminding us to be respectful, to show our support. Actually,
they encourage us to be good citizens, good UK citizens. And I've never heard they encourage people to travel to Syria or do something like what Salman Abedi did. It's all about how to help the community and how to be a good Muslims in this community.
Didsbury Mosque claims a sermon delivered 6 months before Salman Abedi detonated a bomb at the Manchester Arena has been misinterpreted. But Islamic experts say it's clearly a call to arms.
It's very clear from the context of the sermon and the kind of verses and things that he quoted. He's talking about military jihad. They're no way fit to preach because he's giving completely the wrong advice to thousands of people. And I would not be surprised at all if that sermon had a direct influence on Salman Abedi.
The man giving that sermon was Mustafa Graf. In 2005, he spoke out in support of a controversial cleric, and in 2011, Didsbury Mosque prayed for his release after he was imprisoned in Libya. In the days after the Manchester attack, he stood with other Muslims to condemn the actions of Abedi, but now his own words are under scrutiny.
Imams do have a responsibility to address these issues in an open and honest way and really reflect on the language that they use and the implications of that language, either to be misinterpreted or to be used by young people to be brainwashed.
We don't know for sure whether Salman Abedi attended that sermon, but 10 days later he bought his Ariana Grande concert ticket. Olivia Campbell-Hardy was one of the 22 killed that day, and her family want to know why.
He hasn't just come up with this idea on his own, and we need to find out where he's got the idea from. We need to stop these people in their tracks. 22 of us lost our families that day, many more injured. Of course, we need answers, and they should be open. If they've nothing to hide, why are they not speaking?
No one from Didsbury Mosque was available for interview, but in a statement they strongly refute any suggestion that there is a link or association between this sermon and the criminal actions of Salman Abedi or his radicalisation. They say they do not encourage anyone to go and fight in any military struggle, and Didsbury Mosque has now launched its own internal investigation. They say the use of the word jihad has been taken out of context, but whether further action is taken is now a matter for the police. Amy Welch, ITV News, Didsbury.
Better use +500. What? Because trading with +500, it's like playing bridge for the first time. Plus knowing Grandma's on your team.
Hi, Grandma.
+500. It's trading with a plus.
Right? I'm not speaking to you to say I'm a goody, right? But I'm telling you something now. If anything would happen to my kids, mate, I would put my kids back on. I tell you that now. You know what I mean? You just need to sort this thing out, right? In your community and put a stop to it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's not part of the community.
Well, it's not a part of the community now, right? Because he's gone where he's fucking gone. Not gone in the grave, is it? You know what I mean? He just murdered innocent little girls. And it could have been my girls. Yeah, it could have been my girl. It could have been my 19-year-old daughter going to that concert. You know what I mean?
This mosque has come out and given publicly condemned the terrorist attack in Manchester. It took us 10 minutes to go and look through the previous speakers that have come here in the last year. Speakers who have called for the death of homosexuals, who have called for the killing of British troops, have called for the killing of apostates. I said, and then they come out. I said, how dare they? That's what I get. How dare they? This mosque has acted as a stepping stone for dead children in Manchester. So we're going to go to the imam. Go ask the imam. Do they think we're that stupid that they can just come out after a terrorist attack after they've promoted hatred time and time again? So you've had hate speaker after hate speaker after hate speaker in this mosque. Well, no, you said in your advert that your mosque is open for everybody. Yeah. So where can I speak to him?
Yeah, if you want to speak, I can ring him.
Well, he's not here. This centre, I said, I don't know how stupid you think the British public are. So if you condemn a terrorist attack, but you've had hate preachers here calling for the death of apostates, calling for the death of homosexuals. This mosque is a stepping stone for dead children in Manchester. That's what this is.
Yeah, but if you want to
I don't want to complain, mate. I don't want to complain. What I want to do is I want a viral video to expose this mosque. If I had my way, I'd close this mosque down in seconds.
Okay, if you want, we're going to speak.
So no one's here to talk. No one's here to answer questions. You said in your advert, you said we condemn the attack and we're happy for people to come down and talk.
Okay, but I know which one you're going to speak to the medical representatives.
Can I speak? Is this an imam?
There's no here.
There's no imam here.
There's no.
So no press. Oh, mate, are you an imam? Are you an imam? No?
If you want to speak, you're going to speak with the medical representatives.
I want to ask questions, mate. I want to ask questions. Oh, look. Let's have answers. Come on, let's have answers. Why would this mosque, if this is a peaceful mosque, why would you have hate preacher after hate preacher after hate preacher? Yes, it is true. Abdul Rahim Green.
The Quran says that Allah has given men a superiority over women. There you go. It's in the Quran.
Quick. Muhammad Adam.
Saw the Charlie Hebdo attacks. You thought that was justified?
That's what I was thinking, yeah. They do the right thing.
Yes, it is true. What are you telling me? They haven't spoken? Are you telling me that are you telling me they haven't spoken? Are you telling me they haven't spoken?
Like I said, false allegations.
What do you mean false allegations? Are you telling me they haven't spoken?
Look, my friend, it's Ramadan.
It's Ramadan.
Yes.
Yes,
Children's time.
No, mate, we've got dead children in Manchester because of the hatred that you're promoting.
We can speak
So come talk then. For too long, you've got away with it. How can you have people in here calling for the death of homosexuals? How can you have people in it and then you want to act like there's nothing wrong? What's not true? What's not true? Has Abdul Rahim Green spoken in this mosque?
I know exactly who you are.
Yeah, has Abdul Rahim Green spoken in this mosque? Has Abdul Rahim Green spoken in this mosque?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does matter when he says you have to beat your wife. It does matter when he says you have to kill gays. It does matter. That's hatred. If you said out on the street what you say in here, you'll be arrested.
He doesn't speak it.
He has spoken. Are you telling me he hasn't spoken?
Are you telling me he hasn't spoken? Has Abdul Rahim Green spoken? Has Abdul Rahim Green spoken?
No.
Has Quick spoken?
I have no idea.
Hate speaker after hate speaker after hate speaker. And you think, you know what? It's an insult to the victims. It's an insult to the victims that you say. You condemn it. You condemn it whilst promoting hatred every week.
Just give me a
That's
second.
fine. I'll wait. Go on.
Could you wait for me
Yeah,
to
go on.
get to the premises
Okay,
without...
okay, thank you. This mosque where we are, so you have to understand, okay? In this old church, they're promoting hatred and war against all of us. Some of the speakers, why want to go in there, which they're stopping. Now they're stopping us. They've got guards now.
He's teaching.
He's teaching.
Yes.
So he can't speak.
But obviously he's teaching in it, so...
Yeah.
There's no issues, is it?
There is issues. Abu
There's
Qatada,
issues.
I'll tell you the issues. Abu Qatada has spoken in this mosque. Yeah?
I don't know.
You don't know who Abu Qatada is? Okay, well, Abu Qatada says that all people who leave Islam, their children and their wives can be killed. Quick has spoken, Abu Qatada, Quick has spoken this mosque. Quick,
Yeah, but that's all... It's all theories, isn't it? Or it's not proven, is it? Or...
what's not proven? Yes, it's on video. Yes, it's on video. Quick, who spoke in this mosque, said that homosexuals have to be executed.
So what is the position of Islam on homosexuality? They asked me this. It's a newspaper, right? So I said, put my name in the paper. The position is death. And we cannot change Islam.
If a preacher stands up, if a preacher stands up and says we can kill homosexuals, is that not preaching hate? Yes, there is. Okay, we'll see a video. We'll see a video of it on this video.
The position is death.
Priests don't say that. When does a priest say homosexuals should be executed? You find me. No, I'm not. Kill gays.
Yeah.
If someone leaves Islam, should they be killed? What this is what people need to realise at home. Yeah, I see people saying, "Oh, yeah, they've come out and condemned it." They have hate speaker after hate speaker after hate speaker every single week. It's not good enough. Condemning it's not good enough. You end up with dead children in Manchester because of what they're saying, because of what they're promoting. One of the men that spoke in this mosque said the only way to get to heaven is to die fighting jihad against non-Muslims. And then they want to act like it hasn't happened. Oh, it's frustrating. If you like that and you want to see more, click like and subscribe.
So good. What's next?
I'll tell you what's next. Did you know that you've got Netflix with your BTTV?
Struggling under the weight of his rucksack bomb, Salman Abedi spent 2 hours around Manchester Arena and adjoining train station before the blast, trying to keep a low profile. But he can be seen on multiple CCTV cameras, and his presence didn't go unnoticed by some. Neil Hadfield was at the venue waiting to pick up his daughters at the end of the Ariana Grande pop concert. He gave the inquiry a dramatic and chilling account of the moment he came face to face with the bomber sitting near the stairs to the main foyer.
I thought suicide bomber straight away, with very little doubt in my mind. It was, honestly, my heart was racing. As soon as I saw him, he was dressed all in black. He looked like a terrorist. He looked like a, how do I have to explain it? Like a Bond villain.
The witness said he wanted to call the police, but saw 2 security guards highlighted in yellow and green on this image, and was convinced they had spotted Abedi. The police would arrive at any time.
He seemed frightened, nervous, agitated. He didn't seem right, and that really, my heartbeat was getting faster and faster, because I was thinking this guy's moving into position to do something now.
But the police Neil Hadfield expected never arrived. Just minutes later, Abedi got to his feet and walked off to detonate his bomb.
Massive flash of light, and I mean, it was like, sheet lightning. It was like that, filled the whole room.
British Transport Police Constable Jessica Bullough was first on scene, but she admitted her and a colleague had taken a more than 2-hour-long meal break. When she returned to the arena, she missed Abedi's arrival there by 10 minutes.
If you had seen that man walking in that way with that bag on his back, would you have regarded him as suspicious?
If they walked past me with that bag on his back, I probably would have asked him what was in it.
The inquiry is due to hear from more police and arena security staff as a key question of whether more could have been done to better secure the venue is explored in the days ahead. Mark White, Sky News.
Disbury Mosque was identified as a mosque attended by the Manchester suicide bomber Salman Abedi, his father Ramadan and his brother Ishmael. Salman Abedi's father Ramadan fought jihad in Libya in 2011 with the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group. The US State Department says they were aligned with Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, and they designated the group a foreign terrorist organisation in 2004. Didsbury Mosque has a long history of inviting and promoting hate speech, which has spread to the Muslim community it represents. Is it a surprise to anyone then that a Libyan suicide bomber who took the lives of 22 people, including children, had attended this mosque? If you preach hate, you promote hate. If you promote hate, you justify hate. If you justify hate, then you give it religious credence and sanction. If hate speech is given religious credence, then it is done through the teachings of the Quran, the Hadith, and the scholars who represent the religion of Islam and its power. Yes, hate speech, intolerance, and the justification of killing non-Muslims is found in Islamic text. This is the root cause of all the problems Great Britain and the wider world are currently experiencing. And we have been experiencing, since the inception of Islam, a totalitarian ideology that has conquest as its foundation stone. I've been to Didsbury Mosque twice in the last week in an attempt to discuss these issues with their imam. Both times they've refused. It has been known that Didsbury Mosque and its attendees and charitable affiliates have handed out anti-Western propaganda denouncing the West to the local community in Manchester.
This is direct from Didsbury Mosque. This is a leaflet that I was given on an open day. And this says, living in a society in which people have accepted Western lifestyle as their way of life brings immorality at every step. Modesty, shame and honour have no place in Western civilization. That is direct from Didsbury Mosque.
Abu Qatada spoke at Didsbury Mosque. In his sermons, he said it was Islamically lawful to kill the wives and children of apostates who have rejected Islam. People who have expressed freedom of religion. He wants to kill their kids. Abu Qatada also issued rulings justifying suicide attacks.
In the image I have, that is the image of a Muslim man who defends the causes of his nation against its enemies. Should be supported by every Muslim.
Do you believe it is permissible for somebody to die in the course of jihad or a war, even to kill themselves for this?
In modern jurisprudence, these are called martyrdom operations. Most scholars agree that they are permissible if they achieve the aims of Muslims by fending off Islam's enemies, or if they are to resist invasions.
Abdullah Quick is another radical cleric who speaks at the Didsbury Mosque.
Because what the homosexuals and the pedophiles are doing is so disgusting that acts like what Clinton was involved in, they were considered to be regular things.
He's called for homosexuals to be killed and for death for those who don't follow Islam. He has a clear fondness and tolerance of the gay community when he states things like the Islamic position for homosexuality is death. Then we have Muhammad ibn Adam, who speaks at the Didsbury Mosque as well. He has peaceful and tolerant views such as Muslims should not greet non-Muslims with salam. The reason for this is to not show them respect. If a Muslim meets a Jew or a Christian on a pathway, he or she should force them to walk on the other side. It is prohibited to have close friendships and intimacy with non-Muslims. He says Muslims may work in coalition with non-Muslims, but only to ensure the strength and independence of Muslims. Do you see why the Muslim community are failing to integrate you? This has been propagated in all their mosques. The punishment, he also says, the punishment for extramarital sex is stoning to death. But he is quite considerate. He says a pregnant woman, she can be stoned to death straight after having the baby. It's not permissible to leave Islam. He also says women should not come out of their homes unnecessarily. Where are all the feminists on these issues? Then there's Abu Ni'matullah, another tolerant and peaceful preacher who speaks at the Didsbury Mosque. And of course, they call themselves progressives, right? I mean, at the end of the day, they're liberal, secularist, minded Muslims, and they call themselves progressive. Of course, they're regressive, and if this is progression, then we need the Stone Age, definitely. The Stone Age is definitely better for us, for our deen and our dunya. He's a lad who resides in Manchester and obviously has a more localised appreciation of Islam. He says, and I'll quote, "Insulting of the Prophet is an act which leads to the death penalty, whether the perpetrator is Muslim or non-Muslim. So basically, blasphemy is punishable by death." He supports equal rights for women, though. He's a true feminist, this one. He said that women should not be in the workplace whatsoever. Full stop. He supports the rights of women to give birth and stay at home. So let's go back to Didsbury Mosque, or the Manchester Islamic Centre as they call it, and let's look at the leadership of that mosque. Didsbury Mosque leadership are part of the Muslim Brotherhood Hamas apparatus. Its imam and its supervisor of its Sharia department are also officials in the international Muslim Brotherhood Hamas groups led by Sheikh Youssef Al-Qadari. Anyone with any knowledge of terrorism will know exactly what he stands for and exactly what he promotes. Islamic domination by all means necessary. According to the Global Muslim Brotherhood Watch, a former trustee of the mosque is a known Hamas activist. He was present during a pivotal secret Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas meeting in Philadelphia in 1993 to set up the US branch of the Muslim Brotherhood. Anti-Semitic tweets, of course, from another trustee of the mosque, Fazi Hafa, have also been discovered. The content is so ferocious that it would lead any Muslim who trusts his words to believe they are obligated to engage in violent jihad. Quite something when you consider the fact that this man was actually the public relations face of the Didsbury Mosque in the aftermath of the Manchester suicide bombings. The audacity of them. The mosque imam personally engaged in violent jihad in Libya in 2011, discussing plans for an attack with militants loading bombs and discussing their upcoming operations. This is their priest. Although don't worry, he's previously claimed he was only out there helping his family to escape the violence, of course. Now let's summarise this. An extremist religious father and his sons worked in and prayed at Didsbury Mosque. The mosque itself has allowed extremist preachers who spew their vile intolerance for Christians, Jews, and people of the gay community. They've allowed extremist preachers who have encouraged murder in the name of Islam, whether that be for criticism of Islam, apostasy from Islam, or furthering the Islamic cause in general. The mosque leadership themselves are linked to the likes of Hamas, a proscribed terrorist organisation, the Muslim Brotherhood, and terrorist affiliates of the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group, who have links to Al-Qaeda. The mosque imam is a Mujahideen jihadist. Do you understand how Salman Abedi become indoctrinated into the great evil of our time? They are among us. They want to do us harm. They have plenty of support, and I, for one, will not accept a Muslim Brotherhood franchise like Didsbury Mosque leadership telling me how love trumps hate. If they had love for all human beings, I wouldn't be standing here telling you all these things, would I? It's time for action. It's time for change. It's time to ensure the safety of our children and the future of our country. Join me and others to unite against this hate in Manchester on Sunday the 11th of June. Go to ukagainsthate.com for full details and pledge your support. I'm outside Didsbury Mosque. It's prayer time. We've also got a projector. We've projected the facts about what the imams are saying in this mosque, about the hatred that they're spewing in this mosque. Whatever they're saying inside that mosque, we're going to make sure that people understand what they're saying outside. And obviously the police are here now. So all we're doing is hate preachers are inciting murder against people inside this building, and we're letting everyone know outside. We've got dead kids in Manchester because of what your men preaching there.
This is not acceptable. It's not acceptable in any way.
Okay, you've got preachers speaking in here who call for the death of homosexuals. No, this mosque has.
Do you know what some of my friends say to things that are really inspirational?
Oh yeah, really inspirational when they call for the death of fucking homosexuals. Really.
I'd rather stand here than with you. I'd rather stand here than with you. Disgusting.
Why? Let's just talk. Why? Let's talk. Darling, Abu Assad is one of the world's biggest terrorists. He speaks here.
Jeremy Corbyn, you know about Islam.
And you know that because you haven't read the book. This is fascism. Oh my God.
This is fascism.
Oh, do not try and take the moral high ground when you've got people in there inciting murder. This is a centre of hate. You're actually using a church to incite war against our country. I'm here to ask questions. Do I get that? Theresa May, you said after the most recent attack that you're going to clamp down, that we've shown too much tolerance. If you were clamping down, this would have already been shut down. When you see the hatred that's being spewed inside this building, you're talking about the internet. The internet. It took me 10 minutes to find preacher after preacher after preacher that's calling for hatred, that's calling for segregation. We have Islamic ghettos that are not integrating with us. Do you know what one of the local Muslim imams said here? He said, when you walk down the street and you see a Christian or a Jew, you make them cross the road. He said, never say salam. Never say salam to Christians or Jews. Never show them respect. We cannot be friends with Christians or Jews, but we use them to make sure Muslims get what they want. Now, David Cameron come out after leaving this killing and said we're going to have a 5-year plan to tackle this radicalisation. Since he said that, 2,000 Muslims went and fought for ISIS, and 500 of them have come back. You're doing nothing to tackle this radicalisation. This centre is still open now, and these imams are still preaching hatred against all of us. We need to know who's speaking there, what they're saying. And you haven't got anything. Do you want to talk about hatred? You need to crack down on these mosques across our country.
Oh my God. What's going on? What's happening? What's going on? Oh my God.
There's no problems here. Just take your time and keep exiting the building. There's no need to interrupt the line. Take your time. No problems here. Thank you.
Quick, Corey. Which way? Come on. Corey, get out. Corey, get on this way. Corey. Come on. Oh, this is crazy. Like, people got trampled and everything.
Attention, please. Attention, please. This is a public safety announcement.
Yeah, I think something might happen. I see a man crying. I see a man with his leg in.
James. Hi, what's going on? So good. What's next?
I'll tell you what's next. Did you know that you've got Netflix with your BTTV?
Simon Abeidi was wearing a backpack that was so heavy that it bent him over. Within it was a bomb packed with shrapnel.
Who convinced this young man to put a 32-kilogram bomb in his backpack? There is evidence that he could have been stopped. The man in the yellow jacket is a member of security staff at the arena who was told that Salman Abeidi was acting suspiciously before the explosion. The man who told him, Witness A, actually confronted Salman Abeidi.
Witness A says that he asked the man, "What have you got in your rucksack?" He got no response. Witness A then said, "It doesn't look very good, you know. What you see with bombs and such. You, with a rucksack like this, in a place like this, what are you doing?" The man responded, "I'm waiting for somebody, mate. Have you got the time?"
The security guard flagged Abeidi to a colleague. The second security guard then tried to alert the control room, but all of his radio channels were busy, and he watched as Salman Abeidi carried his backpack closer towards the arena itself. "I just froze," the security guard said. "I didn't get anything out on the radio. I knew at that point it was too late." The 22 victims were remembered on this, the first day of the inquiry.
Kelly Brewster, Georgina Callender, Olivia Campbell Hardy,
Olivia was 15 years old.
Everything was right and there wasn't much done. Hurt a bit, but knowing that he was seen is a bit of a relief, really, because there's others there that need to know that, it can be learned from.
It's only 3 weeks since Hashim Abeidi, the brother who helped make the bomb, was jailed for life with a minimum of 55 years. The inquiry will also examine significant concerns that police commanders took too long to allow ambulance and fire crews in to help. It meant people like Sean Gardner were left on their own, trying to save people's lives.
It's obviously left some really deep scars, and there was always going to be a 5 or 10 minute gap, but it was 20-25 minutes by the time we actually got some assistance.
What counter-terrorism officers knew will be too sensitive to be heard in public, but the inquiry chairman has vowed to be as open as he can be. The process, he says, isn't about finding scapegoats, but establishing the truth. Tom Parmenter, Sky News, Manchester.
Well, I'm not talking about Muslims. I'm talking about Islam.
Good evening. Important symbols of American power have been hit today by a series of devastating terrorist attacks.
I've read, I've studied, I've learned. I know it inside out. I know the Quran better than most Muslims.
We're also getting reports this morning of an explosion, a bomb explosion in Russell Square.
I have a huge problem with fascism. It quotes in the Quran time after time again that we're cattle, we're animals, as non-Muslims.
This is James Wright Foley, an American citizen of your country.
Individually, Muslims, if I quote Winston Churchill said Muslims will show amazing individual traits, but their ability to go forward as a society will be held back. Islam will drag them back.
This is BBC World News Today with me, Tim Wilcox. The headlines. We're pretty sure we got it. The Pentagon says the death of Mohammed Emwazi would be a significant blow to IS.
Most Muslims don't even know the Quran. That's the reality of it in the UK. So the agenda of Islam is what I have a problem with.
With some breaking news, reports are coming in of an attack, or quite possibly several attacks in Paris. Reports are talking of a burst of gunfire.
Haram and halal. Halal are the good deeds in Islam, haram are the outward deeds. So no matter how halal their life has been, if they want to get to heaven, they just have to kill non-Muslims in a holy jihad.
It's been reported that sounds similar to gunfire have been heard close to the Palace of Westminster. A man with a knife had been seen within the confines of the palace, according to eyewitnesses.
It's not just terrorism. I'm not just on about terrorism. I'm on about the mindset, the viewpoint, freedom of religion. non-Muslims who want to leave Islam in the UK are persecuted.
Fucking racist scumbags! All of you, police force, everyone!
I'm criticising their hierarchy. I'm criticising the political policing that's going on. I'm criticising the leader of Scotland Yard who came out yesterday straight after the attack and said, well, we want to assure the Muslim community we're with you, we're with you, we're with you.
We must recognise now that our Muslim communities will feel anxious at this time, given the past behaviour of extreme right-wing groups, and we will continue to work with all community leaders over the coming days.
Stop painting the victims of this somehow the Muslim community, because no one's driving cars over them, no one's cutting their heads off. Right, that's happening to us.
60s, man, I'm back for me. Pakistan, yo. White,
They attacked you because you were white? Yes. These are the men police describe as very, very dangerous. They're responsible for grooming and sexually abusing 3 13-year-old girls in Rotherham.
When you get extreme gang grooming in large numbers, where all the perpetrators know each other, they're related, they're cousins, they work on it, 90% of the convictions of that are Muslim. 90% out of a population of 4%. And 20% of them are called Mohammed. There is a correlation between sexual exploitation and rape and Islam. There is a correlation between terrorism and Islam. I wish there wasn't. There is.
You know those threaten Muslims with violence.
Well, no, I'm afraid Muslims with violence.
People will make up their mind on what they expect.
I've watched the whole politically, everything shift for people coming along to realise actually this guy he understands it. He was talking sense. And the reason I understand it, I was talking sense, is because I'm born in Luton Town. I've been brought up around it. All these people going to fight for ISIS, all the radical terrorists in jail. I grew up with them.
If you think we're not going to be cowed by some pathetic Poundland terrorist in an estate car with a knife.
Once you're affected by Islam, you don't wake up knowing. So a lot of the people, you have to understand these people who criticise me, they live in leafy suburbs. They don't understand what I'm talking about. They don't get it. They think all cultures are equal. Everyone's equal, everyone's the same. No, they're not. I've got news for you. They've got news for you. Islam's very, very different. Very different. The hostility, the hate, the violence. It's a whole new ballgame that we've ever dealt with. And it's here. There's so much we could be doing as a society to try and address this issue, but we're not doing any of it. Because to do it, we have to admit the problem.
Will the Prime Minister agree with me that what happened was not Islamic, just as the murder of Ari Neve was not Christian, and that in fact both are perversions of religion?
I absolutely agree, and it is wrong to describe this as Islamic terrorism.
The only thing more horrifying than a pack of grown men brutally gang raping, pimping, torturing, and mutilating an 11-year-old girl is a modern nation like Great Britain letting them do it over and over again for fear of insulting their culture. How pervasive has the perversion become? Well, here's a map of recent cases of gang rape, mass pedophilia, and sexual exploitation committed by a lot of sick men who seem to have one relevant feature in common. British police are currently probing more than 50 rape gangs, and they shouldn't be hard to find, since they're all standing on the back of the fastest growing elephant in the world. The British government spent the last year investigating whether the rape wave has somehow been caused by the race of the rapists. Determined to refute a hypothesis put forward by no one ever, the government concluded there is no simple link between race and child sexual exploitation. Well then, country that gave us Sherlock Holmes, Father Brown, and Miss Marple, if race isn't the cause of our child sexual exploitation epidemic, maybe we can spot another feature held in common by such diverse figures as Abid Mohammed Sadiq of Derby, his partner Mohammed Liaquat, Mohammed Sajid of Rochdale, his partner Mohammed Amin, Mohammed Islam Chowdhury of Telford, his partner Mohammed Ali Sultan, Mohammed Karar of Oxford, and Mohammed Sheikh of London. What could all these Mohammeds possibly have in common?
The judge said all of you treated the victims as though they were worthless and beyond any respect. One of the factors leading to that was the fact that they were not part of your community or religion.
Most British leaders, of course, take it for granted that Islam has nothing to do with these attacks, just as it had nothing to do with the 9/11 attacks, or the 7/7 bombings, or the Madrid train bombings, or the Mumbai massacre, or the Fort Hood massacre, or the Boston Marathon bombing, or the beheading of Lee Rigby, or the deaths of the 270 million people killed in the name of Allah over the past 14 centuries. It's sheer coincidence that so many of these gang rapists and pedophiles share a common religious background, and that with several sets of brothers involved in these cases, the rape wave seems to be a family affair. This band of Mohammeds isn't lurking in the shadows. They're inviting family and friends to join them at rape parties, apparently without a clue that what they're doing is wrong. So these men believe that it's perfectly acceptable to rape little girls, provided the little girls aren't Muslims. Now, I'm going to go out on a tautological limb here and say that what these men believe probably has something to do with their beliefs. Let's take a quick look at their beliefs. Chapter 3, verse 110 of the Quran says to Muslims, "You are the best of peoples ever raised up for mankind." Muslims are the best people in the world. What about Jews and Christians? Surah 98 verse 6 calls Jews and Christians the worst of creatures. According to Surah 3 verse 32, Allah has no love for unbelievers, people who reject Islam. So if non-Muslims are the worst of creatures and Allah has no love for us, what's the status of non-Muslim British girls? They're lower than cattle. But these claims in the Quran don't influence Muslims, right?
My brothers, remain in your right and do not be scared of this two fickle folk. They are picked. Allah, they are picked. Allah says they are worse than cattle. Worse than cattle.
Unfortunately, unbelievers don't always recognize how inferior we are, so Allah sent Muhammad to begin the important task of putting unbelievers in their place, a place of humiliation and degradation, and putting believers in their place, a place of authority and supremacy. Under Muhammad's rule, unbelieving men were either killed or violently subjugated. Unbelieving women who were captured became the sex slaves of Muslim men. Sincere Muslims today look back to the time of Muhammad as the glory days of Islam, the Prophet and his companions marching out and subduing people in the name of Allah. But the Islamic project of subjugating unbelievers wasn't just for the time of Muhammad. If you read the Muslim sources, Islam was to continue expanding until it dominated the entire world. Allah even promised this to Muhammad in a vision. Muhammad said, "The whole earth has been shown to me, till I saw the east of the east and the west of the west, and I saw that the authority of Islam ruled all that I saw." But these teachings have absolutely no effect on Muslims, right? The culmination of Islamic supremacy will be on Judgment Day, when Allah admits Muslims to a paradise of sensual delights and casts almost everyone else into hell. I say almost everyone else because there's an important twist for those of you who aren't familiar with Islamic eschatology. Christian and Jewish men will go to hell, but according to Muhammad in Sunan Ibn Majah 43:37, the wives of these Christian and Jewish men will enter paradise, where they will be given to Muslims as sex slaves, in addition to their virgins, of course. The history of Islam, then, from beginning to end, is supposed to go something like this. Muhammad starts giving Muslims the authority they deserve. His followers continue subjugating unbelievers until the entire world is under the authority of Islam. And finally, Allah makes the arrangement permanent. Now, take a look at the world around you. From an Islamic perspective, something is very, very wrong here. Non-Muslim nations have the strongest economies. Non-Muslim nations have the strongest militaries. Muslims are fleeing Islamic countries as fast as they can get visas. Is this what Muhammad said would happen? Of course not. Muslims are superior, and the world is supposed to reflect that. but the world just won't cooperate. If you're a Muslim immigrant driving a taxi in the UK, you're taxiing people who are inferior to you. If you're a Muslim serving kebabs to British girls, you're serving kebabs to girls who are supposed to be your sex slaves. Bitterness and resentment grow, and at the end of the day, there are only a few ways you can set the world right, even if briefly. You can start patrolling the streets and enforcing Sharia, screaming orders at all the inferior unbelievers.
So Muslim patrol, move away from the mosque.
Or you might go a little further and slaughter an unbeliever, putting the fear of Islam into the entire population.
You think David Cameron is going to get caught in the street when we start busting our guns? You think the politicians are going to die? No, it's going to be the average guy like you and your children.
Or you can climb on top of an 11-year-old British girl, degrade her in every possible way, and show her again and again what utter contempt you and your Muslim brothers and your God have for worthless creatures like her, creatures who, according to Allah himself, are only fit to be the sex slaves of Muslims.
Across the country, many have been shocked at the uncovered sexual exploitation rings, first in Rochdale, then Rotherham, Derby, and most recently in Oxford. Gangs of men lure vulnerable young girls, some as young as 10, with presents in order to gain their trust. Then they force them to take drugs, rape them, and finally they sell them off into prostitution. The reported gangs are made up of Muslim men, their victims, young white girls.
In a sane world, politicians and the media would relentlessly confront any ideology that produces such sickening disdain for some of the most vulnerable people in our society. Leaders would unite in saying, look, if your religion only lets you feel like a man when you're abusing unbelievers, prepare to have your religion mercilessly scrutinized. Instead, they assure us that Islam can't be a problem. After all, most Muslims live perfectly normal lives. While I'm willing to grant that most Muslims live far better lives than their religion commands them to live, this has nothing to do with whether we should criticize Islam. Saying that we shouldn't be concerned about the effects of Muhammad's teachings because most Muslims don't turn to rape or violence is kind of like saying that we shouldn't be concerned about the effects of smoking because most smokers don't get lung cancer, or that we shouldn't be concerned about the effects of drunk driving because most drunk drivers don't end up killing anyone. A deadly impact on a minority is still deadly.
Better use plus 500. What? Because trading with plus 500, it's like playing bridge for the first time. Plus knowing grandma's on your team.
Hi, Grandma.
Evening, people. Hope everyone's good. Give me a minute.
The only thing more horrifying than a pack of grown men brutally gang raping, pimping, torturing.
For a change.
This is direct from Ditchbury Mosque. This is a leaflet that I was given on the opening day. And this says,
Evening, people. I'm just trying to find the videos from the Ditchbury Mosque. Give me a minute. I've got to cover the camera because there's pictures of kids and shit on there, so pictures of family and whatever. So give me a minute. Right. For some reason, I don't know why, can't actually figure out why, maybe someone else can, but some of the videos have come out sideways. I don't really know what to do. I could put the laptop on its side, but I don't know if it'll fuck it up. I don't know. I think I'm just going to play it as it is, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just going to play it as it is. If you're watching it on the phone, just turn your phone, I don't know.
Has everyone got one? Take a placard each, you fellas. There you go. Right, take that. Who hasn't got a placard? Me. Listen, them two come outside shadows. Nothing to us. Alright, so who can I speak to? Anyone want to speak to? I'll speak to you. Has everyone got one? Take a placard each, you fellas.
Fuck on, Luke, that's on that.
There you go. Right, take that. Who hasn't got a placard? Me. I need to go.
Treasonous scumbags. Treasonous filth. Treasonous scumbags. Common purpose twats. Killing our children, raising our children. Read easy, me. Tell y'all about me. dirty Muslims and the dirty grooming gangs.
Around about the same time as London Worship was Sunday's Spot went to Manchester Arena and blew up 50 of our children. That should have been enough. Is enough. That should have been the moment when our police forces take action against the extremists of Sunday's Mosque, when we're scraping our kids' brains off the road.
There's no reason to be on the other side.
This is a problem. This country won't even condemn. There are Muslims with when we're scraping our kids' brains off the walls of Manchester Arena, this mosque should be raided. Everyone investigated, interrogated, something should have been done. Oh no, we don't want to upset the protected speech of movements in Britain, do we? And then shortly after that, one of the imams called for armed GA out of this very mosque. Is he arrested? Is he interrogated? Is he questioned?
I've seen his face around.
Literally, Islamic Britain needs mosque on free pass to block ISIS fighters, ISIS recruits and terrorists. And it's our children in Manchester.
Is that your van there? That van there, is that your van?
I live the same place where you live. Where do you live?
I live next door to you.
Well, that's where you live.
Yeah.
Don't forget the good side of it.
Come on.
You're taking a video, don't forget the good side of it.
Why is there a good side? Is there? You smell like 7-year-olds. Stinking 7-year-old girls, mate. You smell like 7-year-old girls. You stink of 7-year-old girls. Yeah. What's your name? Mohammed. What's your name? Mohammed.
That's why we're doing it. I am taking a video. I'm not finding everything. I'm not finding everything. I do anyone. I know, yeah. What is your main boss? I don't have a reason. They go to any. If I'm in this case, I'm trying to get the money out of this. I don't think that's specific.
Yeah, but there's no churches commanding people to go out and kill your children, is there? Well, there is in this one. Well, there is in this one. It's all over social media.
What would you do if you did?
Nothing.
How would you think if your imam, actually said that? What would you think? You'd be like, what on earth are you saying here? You can't say that because if you're not actually there, you don't know what you're going to say at the time. But obviously, your imam would say.
Now, I will add to this. This is a year on after the fucking attack. Now, if the people that are going there are still fucking clueless to it, apparently, or whatever, I don't swallow that bullshit pill. That is bullshit. It went all around the fucking world. It was world news, for fuck's sake. So, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Anybody still going there to this day is a fucking wronging in my eyes.
He has done. He's on camera saying it. He's on camera saying it. It's all over YouTube. It's all over Facebook. It's all over. Google it yourself on your phone. You keep getting it out. Google it. You've seen it. You've seen it. This what you're doing now is to kill. This what you're doing now is to kill. We're all over to kill. We know Islam inside out. We know more about Islam than you fuckers do. That's the problem for you. Now we know what you know. Yeah, there is. Of course there is. But nobody, not one Muslim in this whole building has outed the person who's been telling people to kill our children. Oh, so
Now, I will add this. There has been government fucking programs put in place. Tommy's highlighted them all. Fucking shitloads of money poured into things for these to anonymously fucking out terrorists, grooming gangs, whatever. And nothing has ever been taken up from it. So, there you go.
just let him do it. Just let him kill our children. So what if I come to your mosque and I put a bomb in there and I kill your children? How about that? Would you like that? Would that be fine? And if not...
So I've just said that. Does that make me a terrorist? Because I'm apparently Eric says I'm a terrorist because I've said that. It did say if I do this, if I do that. I didn't say I was going to, did I?
The fact of the matter is, there's good and bad in everything. Yeah, there seems to be a lot worse in Islam. Not all there is in Islam is filth. Do you believe in everything you say? What? Do you believe in everything you say? I believe in everything you say. Or everything you hear? No, I believe everything that I see. It tells you every single thing about these dirty Muslims raping our children. Kids find statistics. The statistics of this country, the survey you follow says that the most people that commit these crimes of child molesting and grooming are white. Do you know why that is? Why would you target Muslims? Alright, because 86% of the people caught grooming and raping children are called people like you, Muslims. So if one apple is rotten in the whole pack, do you believe the whole 86%? Do you believe the whole lot? Let me tell you something. In the 50s, 1147 AD, when the Crusades took place, would it be justified for the rest of the world? Would it be justified for the rest of the world at that time to say that all Christians were like that because of what the Crusades was justified because you paid to Muslims raping them, fucking pillaging. Do you think we're stupid? Do you think we're stupid? We're not. We're not stupid. We're all about Islam. You know the version that you want to believe, so you can go on with your crappy little life. Just doing what you want to children or raping children, blowing children up. You can do what you want in your platform. Would you rather just, in any scripture, when you read a scripture, you have to read the whole text. You don't pick out one verse and literally take meaning for it. What are your people?
Right, now, anyone that's ever watched the news, I mean, I don't really, but fucking hell. After a terrorism event, you always hear him come out with the same claptrap, the same shit. Now, you'll hear this man say it, and then he won't follow through with the following verse. Now, I'm not even going to fucking... I'm just going to play it out.
Muslims that are raping and blowing people up. What are y'all justifying? They're reading things out of your book. They're not reading things out of the Bible or the Argos. Reading them out of your fucking book. That's where it's coming from. Do you not know about it? Well, you need to go do some research. You do know about the grooming camps and all that, don't you? Listen, as I said to him at the stage, yes, you don't watch the media, you don't watch the news, you're uninformed. You're misinformed. And that's yes, 86% of your people are raping children. Statistics, millions, which comes from Muslim. There's Muslims so your people are lying and giving false statistics, or it's true. It's true. Read this to me. 86% William. It's William. I know, but this guy don't seem the same though. You know what? Let me tell you something. You do that stupid little smirk and I feel it's because it vexes me up. 22 of the people in my town have been blown up. I don't have no smirk on my face. You do. I've got it on video. Everyone's going to see it later. Everyone's going to see it later. I'm going to hear what you said. That's it. Yeah, you're going all over. You've been bastard all around Manchester, mate. Yeah. Yeah, we burned the church down with a minute. It seems like your community isn't doing that. Well, obviously, our community doesn't need to tell the world what we're doing. I know you're going to say they're giving you a bad name. That's the thing. They're giving all Muslims a bad name. They're giving all Muslims a bad name. You are. Well, where's the good ones? Where's the good ones? Show me one good one that's come out and said, right, that guy there is a problem. He's going to go and blow someone up or he's going to rape some kids. You show me one Muslim that said it. Never once. Never happened. Never got it. No, never got it. Show me one. Show me one. I don't need to show you one because this guy don't one. You have been got one. Yeah. We don't need to show you this because you might be Manchester. You might be Leicester. A Muslim cannot go against another Muslim. We know this shit, mate. Don't put this to scare bullshit. Chat shit. We don't believe you. We know more about Islam than you. Taqiyya. This is what you are. Taqiyya. Taqiyya. Oh, what's taqiyya? You don't know. Don't know. Do you know what halal is? Do you know what Islam is? Do you know what
don't know what taqiyya is. Surprise me, mate.
So you're a terrible Muslim. You're a terrible Muslim. When two white guys know more about Islam than you do.
What is taqiyya?
What is taqiyya? Oh, what's Islam? What's Islam? Don't tell me to shush. I'll snap that finger clean up.
I'm listening to you. I can't listen to people I want. Taqiyya is to lie for the greater good of being a Muslim. That's what taqiyya is.
In other words, to cover up dirty, raping Muslim bastards that are raping and murdering our children. It's them like
you're allowed to do it. You're allowed to do it.
Like you're doing now. Like you're doing now. That's taqiyya.
If I don't know something, I'm not going to say anything.
So you know nothing about Islam. So you don't know in the Islam it says that you Muslims can rape, take whatever your right hand possesses, our children. No. I'll tell you what, yeah. I'll tell you what, yeah. I'll tell you what. You easy me, right? And I'll tell you one after one every time the dirty bastards have been in there what they've said on Please Interview. I'm allowed to do this. I'm justified in my book to do this 14 times and then get a license.
They need to read the Quran again. They need to read the Quran again.
No, they don't. What they need to do is wipe their ass with
It's just like you're misinterpreting
Islam.
It's just like you're misinterpreting it.
Racist, political ideology.
That's what I mean.
No, it's not. It's not. It doesn't qualify to be a religion, and it's not a race, so it's neither. It's just a bad idea. Okay?
The Holy Bible has a statement in
the Holy Bible doesn't. The Holy Bible does not commit.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why we changed.
Yes. Yeah.
We changed.
What we changed?
We can't stay in the past. Yeah. So we've changed the book. Well, I think that matters to me. I think there's a guy with best there who's there.
Yeah, he's getting ready for the next one. He's getting ready for the next one. It's coming. It's coming 2020, mate. Don't worry about it. It's coming, mate. It's coming. Do you think we're going to sit back? We're going to sit back and let you fucking
F-16.
Nah, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. It's about people taking whole streets out of it. Petrol. That's what it is.
Manchester Arena. I don't know who he was, but what he did wrong, he clearly did wrong.
Yeah, he did wrong. Not a single person.
He was from here. I don't know.
That's where we're telling you that. We're telling you that. You can go on your phone and Google the speeches from the mosque.
Yeah.
They've not been here for 10 minutes.
Categorize everybody in one basket just because of one.
Well, none of them are speaking out. None of them are speaking out.
You know they're not speaking out.
Because they haven't.
They need to tell you direct.
No, they have to tell the police, all these things that they've been funded for, put groups together so they can go to these special groups to inform on it, but they never have one. Never ones, yeah.
Where I've come from, the mosque that I've come from, they've got speeches there. They tell the young to stay away from this kind of thing. They tell the young. Well, are you there?
Right. I tell you what, yeah. If someone in your family gets convicted of raping a 10-year-old girl, a 12-year-old girl, disown him. But you won't. Show me what fact.
You put your words in your mouth.
All right, maybe you will.
Just like you need the Holy Quran. Out of context, and you pick a verse, and you paste it in the middle. You put words in my mouth.
It's not out of context at all.
Believe me,
You know why the Muslims are saying it?
Say what?
Right, you killed Lee Regret. He handed a fucking list of 50 verses from the Quran to a person.
Do you know who he was beforehand?
He was stood next to Andrew Chowdhury.
Who says he was a Muslim?
What do you mean he said he's Muslim? He said
Let me tell you one thing. I don't know what your name is. I don't know what your name is. I don't know what your name is.
He said he's a Muslim. That's good enough.
In our Holy Quran, it says you take one life of an innocent. It is like taking the life of the whole of humanity.
Okay. Carry on reading. Carry on.
See, now this is the problem. Muslims, the average Muslim, doesn't actually know. He genuinely will only know the first bit. And this is the problem.
You're doing the first bit, so you must know the second bit. You've just told us about people taking things out of context, yeah? And reading the first bit, not the second bit, and only reading a bit of it. You've just done the exact same thing. That's called the key. You're trying to lie to us, telling us the first bit and not the second bit.
Out of the first bit and the second bit, that is key information there.
And it's all key.
Yeah? Because you're only reading that first bit. Yeah? Because you're only reading the first yes, it makes the first bit irrelevant. I can see why
You do. This is tequila. We know what you play. This is tequila. You do. I know you do. I know you do. I already know. He's talking lies.
There's nothing
You are not feeling. I'm a concerned father who lives around here sick in his dirty moss, promoting hate upon my children. That's what I'm sick of. Two of my nieces in that thing. If two of my nieces would have been killed, there would have been eruptions here, and I drove a 40-ton truck through the fucking place. But luckily, none of my family is killed. But they could have been. Yeah, it could have been.
It's not nice for anyone.
No, it's not. It's not. Nobody invited this. Nobody. Jesus given this church a long time ago, and now you're teaching hate upon our families, all our community. If we're not Muslim, then we're a fair game, we're a fair target. This is not wrong. What's that? You don't teach hate. Do you want us to bring?
I know.
Well, we've got speeches. Look at this clown idiots. Don't teach hate. Why is it all over the internet? Why is it all over the internet? Don't smear like that, silly boy. Don't smear like that, silly boy. Pardon? Pardon, I can't hear you. What? What are you saying? What are you saying? You did. I just heard you, so what did you say? You're not going to talk to me. What? You just said you weren't spewing hate. You just said you weren't spewing hate. You're not spewing hate. Why is it all over the internet? We've all watched the speeches. I'm talking to you now.
You can only speak hate when somebody says something. He ain't saying anything.
He's just said those about him in this place.
I'm talking to you politely.
We've all watched the videos where he does spout hate, and he does command the followers of this to come and kill our children. And then one of your followers decided to come and kill our children.
It's a verse, everyone who believes it's a place that I say if a Christian biggest love for all against that Christians will be arrested by the law. Against this verse, against the rest. I wish I even arrested.
The speeches are all over YouTube.
Wow. Criticism against country, Muslims, protected species. Everyone must be treated equally. I know you have I don't want to this we must! This we must!
Alright. Say we do nothing. No, this is not how we can see it. It's not how we see it. Media's face.
It's just lies to the media. So you need the media. So I don't watch the media. So where do you get your information from?
Out of your book. Yes. We know more about your book than you do. 110%. 110%. I've studied your book for 8 years. I know your book inside out. The shit you come out with is just hilarious to me. You make me laugh.
In what sense have you studied it?
Studied it from back to front. No, I know it inside out. I know every single thing about it. I know the arguing points.
Work is calling.
Work's calling. Anyone know them faces?
You say there's no hate being spewed from this mosque, but it's all online. For 30 years you've been spreading hate at this mosque. So how are you saying it's not? Do you think we're all stupid and can't press a few buttons on the internet watch what's been said? Yo, you just did. I've got you on video, you idiot. I've got you on video. This is how stupid you are. You're on video now.
say hello, you live to about 10,000 people, you feel all around Manchester now, people are watching your stupid face. They'll watch you, they'll see you, they'll see you around. What's your name? Yeah, you won't get your name, no, yeah, don't worry, people will recognise you, pal.
Display Mosque, hold it down. Display Mosque.
So there you go. There's actually two other clips to it, I think. But considering the 6-minute video, that everybody, I mean, not everybody's pushed it around, but everybody's made comment, oh, you sniffing 7-year-olds. No, many Islamic fucking weirdos think it's perfect for a man called Muhammad to have a 6-year-old fucking child bride. So, which is worse, me saying it to trigger some cunt outside a mosque which has murdered fucking children, or people actually doing it and having child brides? I'm pretty sure. Do you know what? I don't even care what any mentally ill lefty cunts think, to be honest. I'm quite happy in my standing on the right side of history or not. Now, people can have an opinion of that, and people can go, oh, you're racist, but they can't tell you what race Islam is, because it's not one. It's an ideology, and they somehow think that all Muslims are brown, and that somehow makes it a race. There's Muslims of all colours come through the doors of many mosques, Didsbury being one of them. Now, anyone that's watched the beginning part of it, you've seen all the people, the speakers, the terrorists, the fucking whatevers that have been speaking at this mosque. This mosque that was given, I think it was £1 or a £5 or something like that. I think it was in the 70s. Now, for all that time, all they've done is propagate. You've heard Tommy say he's seen it all develop as as growing up and all that. It's the same situation in 82 towns and cities, and mine is just one of them. So it's one of them. This is a much bigger problem than anybody's awake to be honest. I think people like Tommy, people like Britain First, football lads, whoever, do you know what I mean? Mohammed Fayez, Faisal Islam, the amount of good people that spoke out, massive respect to him. Okay, yeah, some shit may have gone a bit sour around the situation, people doing certain things and certain things leeching around situations, but we've told people 5 years ago we're exposing a lefty driven agenda, whichever you can say, it's government driven, lefty driven, whatever you want, but at the end of the day there's a massive influx of lefties being injected into all the groups and pushing scams, fucking things that would get you in shit, all sorts, anything just to paint the movement in shit. Now, it's changed forms, the people remain the same, the trolls around it remain the same. Obviously there's the syndicate of shit that is put in place to be the rolling distraction, which we've all seen. I think many people probably seen myself go around all these damp corners of the internet and just give people a warning. This is the situation. Here's the facts. Do what you want with it, and then you stand back from it. And from that point on, it's a exercise in showing people's true colours. And they've done that along the way to the point where I've had to come away. I will put the video on. I think it's about 4 months ago when I decided enough was enough. The people that need to be aware are aware, but choose to do nothing about it. So at that point, I stepped away. So only because I've seen certain scumbags that I know and I've got the history of, people like Danny Jones and all this shit, with Simon and whatever, when they start doing shit like that and I've got the history there and whatever to bury these cunts, then I'll you know, I'm obviously going to have my say, because it is what it is. It is what it is. It's as simple as that. But for me to put any more time into this, there's no point. Enough people are awake. When I was doing what I was doing, and I was angry when I was doing what I was doing, I was like a rabid dog. I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, children were murdered. Simple as that. If you look into the failings, Danny Jones, have a look into the fucking failings. How easy this could have been stopped before it even happened. America knew before we knew. How the fuck did that happen? Don't believe me, check it out, have a look into it. Try and prove me wrong. You just prove me right. Now, Andy Burnham is deep in the middle of Didsbury Mosque and has took payments and all sorts. All these things are documented. Took payments from people that are now prescribed terrorist groups. So for people like Danny Jones and the dickheads around him, oh, write a letter to your MP. Yeah, you may as well wipe your ass with a piece of paper and fucking throw it in the bin. It's rotten to the core. For all these people saying you can vote your way out of it, it is rotten to the core. You've had people like Gerard Batten, who's wrote 2 books, at least 2 books on our constitution, backed up by Team Tommy, and then fails to do anything about it. Fails to fucking even stand with Gary Clark and Nathan Curtin, that was going to speak about, obviously, the Constitution, which Gerard Batten knows full well about, because he's wrote 2 books on it. So we've got a fucking problem here, people. You can all think you're going to vote your way out of it, or keep signing petitions or whatever, but I'll be honest, the only thing that's it's not even going to save you, but it's going to save you a lot of time. Open, honest discussions across the board. That's it. The moment you start moving towards feelings and away from facts and evidence, you fucked it up. It's as simple as that. You have to stick to the facts and the evidence without favour. Now, to me, the facts and the evidence is out on this. Everybody, not everybody, but there's enough people awake now. There's a certain people that need to move forward to lawful solutions. Now, there's not enough people up that end of the pitch. It's simple as that. You've got the front runners, the ones that have got the voice and the platform, and they remain silent. People like Team Tommy, same. I think Britain First actually give it a go. They slightly rebranded it a couple of years back, but they did kind of try. But I've seen no attempt from Team Tommy whatsoever. So it's mad, isn't it? What do? Do you keep letting them smack you about from one court to another court to another court, and just keep collecting funds for the court cases and in and out of jail? That's not really a solution, is it? If you can remove Sharia, then surely that would take the wind out the sails of Islam. Islam doesn't exist anywhere in the world where Sharia where it's not hand in hand. If it's not hand in hand, it doesn't work, and it just doesn't exist. So to me, if you want to deal with the problem, you need to get to the root of the problem. And to me, Sharia is a massive part of it. Look at the arms and legs to Sharia now. It's literally everywhere. It's through the financial system, a lot. But yeah, it's treasonous, and we can hold people to account. So to me, you either want to fix the problem or you don't want to fix the problem, and you just want to keep, I don't know what the deal is at this point. We've woken up. We need lawful solutions. The things that are put in place, we know for a fact, have stayed silent and suppressed the information for 40 years. We know that as fact. With all the grooming gang shit, we know it as fact. So the people, to me, it's just cowardly to sit back and think, oh, well, they'll sort it. They've had time to sort it. They didn't sort it. They did everything they could to do rather than sort it. So all I can say is do your research, people. These things are not going to go away because you want them to go away. They go away because you make them go away. You've got to all have the open, honest discussions and come up with lawful solutions. I'm not saying go and, you know, subscribe to Gary and Nathan or whatever, but listen to them, hear them out, listen to the information, check it for yourself. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's one of them. Have you got any better ideas? Have you got any lawful solutions? Because they haven't, I'll tell you that now. I've had every fucking authority in my house, every single one, all the way up to fucking prevent scheme where they think you're going to become a fucking terrorist. So when I've managed to just literally stand on my facts and my evidence and not back down from anything I've said or done, and I've not been silenced once, I've not got one single charge sheet, I've not got one single fucking anything from it, then to me it comes down to I've stuck to the facts, the evidence, and I'm in lawful rebellion, Article 61. Once I've walked them through that, all the harassment stopped. I've shown them what I was doing was lawful, legal. I've not broke any laws. You've just heard what was said. I was stood 6 foot from one copper, another copper behind me, and another one to the left of me. I haven't broke no laws. I've had this discussion with all sorts of authorities in my house. This is why I moved my family to another house, because I kept having these wankers coming round talking shit. Now, I'm not going to be bullied and moved away and all that. I stayed where I was. I put my family in another house. So how pissed off do you think I would be down the line from that, once it was all settled and up new schools and all this shit, when scummy little bastards that are apparently on our side, Jason Tyler, Wake Up Fucking UK, decides, oh, actually what I'm going to do is read your postcode out all over 4 different fucking things live in front of everyone. Not just send it your WhatsApp, just so we know where you live. Notice that couldn't explain the reasoning behind his attacks, the doxing campaign, whatever, to silence me from what? Exposing scammers, speaking out on fucking ideologies. That's all I do. That's all I've ever done. So, and I've never collected 1 penny off anyone. I've refused all sorts. So we are where we are. I've drove all over the fucking country and done all sorts for fucking lots of people or whatever. I've done it all off fucking the goodness of my heart, not for love, likes, friends on the internet or anything else. You don't get friends. You don't fucking get any of the above when you're pointing out shit like this. When I was pointing out shit like this, you was called a racist, you was called a Nazi, you was called lots of things that you wasn't. Now, to me, calling me a racist is just the same as calling me a fucking paedophile. It's just as bad. My family's mixed fucking, you know what I mean? I've got mixed fucking heritage family. I've got mixed heritage fucking circles, you name it. I bet most people on YouTube at this moment in time, I've got literally the most colourful fucking surroundings than anyone on here. I pretty much fucking guarantee that. So I know people from fucking every walk of life. You cannot contemplate the amount of people that I know. So for anyone, especially from someone like Jupiter, I'm pretty offended when I hear someone like her say, oh, you're a racist, and then have to delete the fucking live because she couldn't like back up a claim. All I asked was, why, what race am I against? I'm not against any race. I'm not against any people. I'm against ideologies. Same as I was against the Mark Collett ideology. And when I spoke out against that, oh yeah, you get pats on the back and everything. Oh, you did well there, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. But when you speak out against this ideology that's raping children and blowing children up, oh, you're a racist, you're a fucking terrorist, you're this, that, and the other. No, I'm just a fucking concerned parent that's willing to go the fucking full length to point this shit out. I don't give a fuck. There's nothing that I give a fuck about. It's that simple. Now, people have tried all sorts with me. I've had gangsters who was at the door because of cunts like Graham Moore and whatever. He's a well-connected cunt. I'll give him that. He is. But I'm well more connected than that cunt, so it didn't end well. And it will never end well for anyone that sends any shit my way. So I've tried to warn people nicely. People have put themselves in danger. Danny Jones being one of them. We'll see what happens. We'll see what comes of it. I always try to be nice. I always try to be civil. And I always give people 2 doors of opportunity because I know how messy it gets after that point in time. So for that reason, I don't need to say much more. I'm fresh out of rivals. There don't seem to be anyone around of worth at the moment that's doing anything of worth. The only things I can see that are going to grow is Danny Roscoe, Black and White Unite thing. I think that'll take off a lot more than people are giving credit for, to be honest. That's the only thing that I see that will grow. The Telford thing, you can say whatever you want. You can reason it to be anything you want, but it's not growing, is it? Now you can say, oh, it's because of this campaign of hate with these lefties making wild accusations that are not true. Yeah, could be. Or it could be all the shit that I've put forward and Danny Simpson's put forward that shows you actually you've got hope, not hate, wrapped around you. And you've got people like Jason Tyler in the middle pretending to be fucking. All these things have been exposed, do you know what I mean? Like I say, rotten to the fucking core. And for those reasons, that's why I've stepped away. So I'm not being a wanker. I'm not being a cunt. I'm just being fucking brutally honest, which some people seem to struggle with. So to me, it's not something that you can't fix. Anything can be fixed. You need to strip it all down to its bare basics, give it a good deep clean, remove the fucking wonky parts and replace them with squeaky new ones. Anything can be fixed. But at this moment in time, it's doomed to fail. It's simple as that. It's rotten to the core. You've got people in the mix that should not be in the mix. Without naming names around Team Tommy and whatever, he was warned. He was warned. It's not like he didn't know. He was warned. I was told, don't worry about it. Okay, I don't worry about it. I've stepped away from it. I don't need to worry about it. It's not actually my concern any longer. It's yours. So that's about it, really. I don't know if anyone wanted to ring in or not. Not really in the mood, to be honest. So I think I'm just going to play maybe the last 2 clips or something, and then I'm going to wrap it up. For anyone that's followed, supported, whatever, massive respect. I know doing that seems to bring you grief. It's one of them. I always get proven right in the end, despite all the campaigns of hate. I mean, look at that with Jason Tyler. It lasted 4 years. You just had to share the links. We'll always arrive. We will always arrive. I don't get told no. It's as simple as that. I am like a dog with a bone. I don't give up. I don't like injustice. It's as simple as that. For me, there was never going to be a point where I would give up. So he did the right thing, giving him up. We only give up 4, but now where we are, people are seeing him for the disingenuous cunt that he is. Not enough because they're still around him, but we are where we are. I've told you from day one, I don't think these people are genuine. I think Jupiter is around the situation because it's popular. It brings in the numbers, etc. I genuinely don't think these people have got the heart in the right place. I think if something else was more popular, they'd be over that side instead. So we are where we are. The real people that have stepped aside, same as I've stepped aside, we will all regroup around something else. There will always be something built. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the background at the moment, but everyone's on dodgy ground because no one trusts no one. Everyone's been told their friend's their enemy and their enemy's a friend, and now they're having to reassess everything. So at that point, I think the best thing for me to do is come away from it, because I've not really got too much nice to say about many of you, to be honest. I think you've all done shit. I've told you, you've all done shit, and you've all been equally as bad as each other. People seem to think that I've give Umbrella a fucking an easy ride or whatever. You can ask Umbrella. She can put messages out where I've fucking proper fucking come down on her like a ton of bricks. I have done many times. We've fell out many times. I've blocked her many times. So it's not like she's had an easy ride. I bet she's had a harder ride than you lot. I'm my hardest critic to myself. After that, it's other people. Umbrella has had a lot of criticising from me, and she's come through the right door a lot of times. I'm not saying every time, but a lot of times she has. Now, are women just more drawn to the drama and the fucking just the conversations in general, I suppose? Women seem to be more needy of that. I don't know. I don't suffer from that. I don't care. I don't particularly like talking to people. I talk to people because I need to, for a purpose. Other than that, I don't bother. That's why you don't see me all over these panels all the time. So that's about it. Unless there's a purpose, I don't think you'll see me around on this side of 2022. I'll probably pop back up with something 2023. I'm hoping to have something in place, something of worth, something fit for purpose. So, yeah, we'll have to see how things turn out. So, obviously, I've got a few things moving in the background at the moment, and a few little things to iron out. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it as that. I think I'm going to play. Might play another thing. I think I've got 2 more things that I can play of what happened on the day or whatever. But yeah, funny that Eric didn't turn up, isn't it? Strange that. Right, I'm gonna cover the thing because I don't know what's on there.
Shame on you, shame on you, shame. Really clever all these cunts keep whatever and getting all the faces and all the registers at the same amount.
Nice one, yeah, not bad, yeah. Shame on you, shame on you, shame. Oh, I'm a parent around here who's just concerned about the
Okay, that's what I wanted to know because I was very interested in having the word actually because I don't believe in standing around letting people like that say what they want and get away with it because the thing is you can't paint everybody with the same.
Person in that, yeah, majority of our children are blown up by a person who's come from that house.
Exactly, and I don't agree with it. And I think that's really
right. So you should agree with us and not be angry towards us standing outside the mosque. How about you go back inside that mosque? Go and tell him you want him removing. He's still in there teaching people. He's not. He comes and goes. He's been seen. This mosque is monitored. This mosque is monitored. This mosque is monitored. He comes and goes. No, I'm a local parent. It's not two of my nieces in that country. If they'd have been killed, there would have been major problems because I'm not a person to be messed with.
somebody like myself, most people agree with what I'm doing.
Well, you're all standing there. This is all the speeches have been all the speeches have been going on for a long time in that mosque. None of these, not a one of these, have said speeches telling them to go out and kill our children and stuff. Because it's on Facebook. It's on Facebook, YouTube, Pittsburgh Mosque, secret. No, there is. There isn't a secret because it's all over YouTube. Google it yourself. YouTube it. Disbury Mosque speeches, and you'll see what's been said. No, you're just chatting rubbish. I agree. I've studied Islam for 8 years. So I studied myself because I've seen what's going on with all of it. What did I use? Everything. I know the. No.
There's lots of different things that people write. Some of them are not even.
I know all the hadiths. I know everything. I know all the series. I know all the.
What are you saying?
I'm saying Islam is a racist political ideology. I feel sorry.
There's blacks, there's whites, there's every colour in Islam. It's not racist.
How is it racist? Because of the scripture that it says. What does it say about black people? Black people are the worst of people. Black is cold, only fit to be slaves. No, it does.
Please tell me where. Because obviously you read it on the wrong side. One of the first people, you know the call to prayer. If you read about Islam, you must know about the call to prayer, yeah? The first call to prayer was given by this man called Bilal. And Bilal was a black person.
Yes, he was.
So then how is Islam racist? Because he was the first one. We are told
what does Islam say about black people? The worst of peoples are black as coal and only fit to be a slave.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't say that in the Bible. The Bible sees us all as equal. We're all equal in the Bible.
Nothing to do with Nobody. I'll tell you one thing. If I was racist, no matter how much I prayed, there's no chance of me getting in heaven because I believe in heaven and hell because I'm not allowed to be racist. I'm not allowed to be prejudiced. I'm not allowed to be anything to people who are poorer than me, who have disabilities. That is absolutely a no in my religion. So I would advise you to go back and revisit this.
Right, well, if you've been in there listening to all these speeches for years, for 30 years they've been teaching speeches.
I really don't.
Well,
because if
you
there
go on
was,
YouTube.
I'll tell you one thing. If there was a hate speech, I wouldn't have a problem standing up and saying that is wrong.
Right,
you
well,
understand?
do yourself a favour, go on YouTube and Google speeches from Disbury Mosque, hate speech from Disbury Mosque, secret cameras in Disbury Mosque, and you'll see it all. The teaching, commanding people in there to kill our children. We're not going to sit back and take it and just have that person. I can't remember his name. The imam that was teaching there. Jaffa King or whatever his freaking name is. So, I don't need to remember Muslim names, it's too hard to remember. No, I'm not talking about hearsay. I have watched words come out of a person's mouth in front of the whole people in there, and nobody said a word. Nobody went away and reported it. Nobody went away and directed it. To let that little tweet go bomb in between children, innocent children, and blow them up. That's what happened. No one says nothing. God just let it happen.
Did it was because he was Libyan, not because he was Muslim. He did it because he was Libyan. He went to Libya and he saw what had happened in war over there, and he came back because not because he was.
He's making a big thing about all the people in this mosque.
you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that. All the people in this box were so proud. He was going to Libya to fight. He was all happy. So he's a terrorist. He's going to murder people as a terrorist. And you're listening to a terrorist. So what? So if you go and murder people in Syria or Libya or wherever, it's not a crime. Well, that's what he's done. He's going to murder people.
I read about this man. I read about this man. And even people which I work with were saying to me that they read people who were not Muslims, people from Muslim, they know. And they said that they went online and they checked this Jewish guy. It's not the reason he did it because he was Libyan, not because he was Muslim. It's nothing to do with Islam. He drank alcohol. We're not allowed to drink alcohol, even though that is
you can drink alcohol, you can do whatever you want. Let's sort this out. You can drink, no. Going around in circles, you're not listening. You can drink all you want. You can drink bacon, you can do whatever you want. If you know in your head, the only way out of all the bad things that you've ever done is to come back to committing jihad, that is the only way. Jihad is going, strapping a bomb to yourself, sitting in a crowd full of children and exploding yourself. No, it is. No, that's the Takia version. That's just Takia. That is only Takia. No, that's just Takia. That's Takia. No, it isn't. No, it won't. Not in your religion. It won't. You'll get 72 virgins, 72 mansions. That's what he'll get. No, I'm not. I'm full of facts. You're delusion. I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry.
See how she's got her nails done and the lipstick on. She's not even allowed all this shit. I'm not a real Muslim. I'm just not.
You are a victim of Islam. You've got no IQ.
That's why Zubida washed all hers off, because I pointed it out.
You've all got no IQ. I can't help the fact that he says it's stupid, but Zara's stupid. But I'm not. I've been born with good genes. My family have not mixed with each other and ended up where I've got one IQ. All Muslims are. It doesn't matter. Your parents, whatever. Everything's kept in the family. No, I'm sorry for you. No, sorry for you. No, I'm not. Most Muslims have got a low IQ. Sorry, but that's fact. It's fact.
It is fact.
They may be, but they'd be a lot more intelligent if spread the base a bit further. I don't mean what do I do? I'm here because I'm a concerned parent who's a piece of shit in there has been spouting crap and sending people to kill our children. Then one of them has gone and killed our children. I'm here because of that. That's what I'm here for.
Okay, and then you're saying that because let's suppose that, one person's done that. You're saying everybody, I'm like that as well. You think I believe that, you think everybody else
I believe that you're stood there defending it.
I'm not defending it at all. I'm saying that you're right.
He did it because he's from Syria, not that he's a Muslim. Alright, here's a good question for you. It seems you think it's from where he's from, not from wherever.
Yeah.
Why are the Pakistani Muslims raping the children here en masse? Yet the Pakistani Christians, which are from the same place, have not raped any children and have not committed any terrorists. No, that is true.
I'm sorry, I'm not saying that's wrong. You're right. I'm absolutely disgusted with that. So it's and it's not just.
So you admit that it's not culture, then it can't be, can it? It's not possible.
I'm saying culture. Of course it's cultural.
How? If two lots of people, living in the same place, in the same villages, in the same country, if they all live there, and you've got Muslims that are raping and pillaging, and you've got the Christians that live in the same place, which are doing nothing like that, they're not killing anyone, they're not raping anybody.
Where?
In Pakistan.
Yeah. Christians are doing, everybody's doing it, but
Christians are not doing it. Christians are getting put in cages and set on fire. Christians are getting put in cages and set on fire. It's all on the internet. Do you think we're blind? We can't see nothing.
If I go on the internet, if I've got a problem, I'm going to go, by the end of the internet excursion I have, I'll pick up a cancer. So that's what the internet does.
No. It shows you the facts. The facts that you don't like. We know far more about Islam than you do. That's the problem. You think you only know the little quotes that you told to teach. You only know what he teaches you in there. Do you know every single thing about Islam, or do you know what he teaches you? Right, so you're only learning from what he's telling you. This is what I'm saying. Right, so this is what I'm telling you. So I'm not learning from anyone. I'm learning from myself. I'm learning from myself. No. I'm in a group that's ex-Muslims. They know everything about Islam. They've had people terrorise them out of your community because they turned to Christianity.
Yeah, okay, right. But the thing is that what I'm saying is if you want to learn from a proper source.
I have learned. I know my proper source. You don't know. You're trying to talk down to me like I don't know, but I know far more than you. I know far more than you.
That was simply stupid.
You are.
You're talking down. You are talking down.
It's not like I'm just.
It's got to go away, can't you?
It's low IQ. That's fact. No, it's low IQ.
Really?
What's that got to do with anything?
You said IQ is something on paper.
Yes.
How do you explain that? Tell me.
My days.
Really? You're making a statement in the past. You are short, but then you can touch the sky. That's not even making sense. You're contradicting yourself. You're not making any sense.
You know nothing about Islam, but you're trying to tell me about Islam. You just admitted you know nothing and you're listening to whatever. No, you're the victim of Islam. You're the victim of Islam. You are a victim. I feel sorry for you. Yeah, you should pray, but not to this, whatever it is. Pray to God. Pray to God. Real God. Pray to God. Real God. Pray to God. Inshallah. Inshallah. It won't. No, it won't. Honestly, no, it won't. This mosque is getting closed down. Okay. Do you know why the Crusades come? Do you know why the Crusades?
So obviously, all the shit I've put out previously, for Eric running about having to try and stick little bits of this and that and whatever. Just put it out in its entirety. I'm not asked. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put it out myself. I wouldn't have give Britain First permission to fucking use all my videos, which they've used loads of my videos. Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. I don't care. Fuck me. I've got a car with a screen in it and a big fucking loud halo on the top and hidden speakers in the fucking bumpers. I pull up public places and pump out whatever I want to pump out, and I don't get told to fuck off. I don't get told to move. Well, they might ask me, but I tell them to fuck off. And I've give out many fucking things for people, whether it's flyers that have been distributed, or I might get given 10,000 things to hand out. Or I might get given a design and print out fucking however many thousand I can get done and give them out somewhere public. Asda, Tesco, fucking anywhere public. I don't give a fuck because I know what I'm saying is right. So at that point, you're never going to get me to back down. It doesn't matter if you're the police. It doesn't matter if you've got a machine gun. It doesn't matter what the fuck you're threatening me with. I'm not going to back down. It's not going to happen. So, for me, to watch all these mentally ill lefties infect the groups all the way up to Team Tommy, it's beyond disheartening. Many people have literally put blood, sweat and tears into this fucking movement. So, there's been many movements, do you know what I mean? There's been many movements. To me, there's people that are awake to things, simple as that, and there's people that are either asleep to it or happy to pretend the BBC version of Islam, like Zubaydah. This is why I said I wanted to have a discussion with Zubaydah. I don't want to have one at the top like Tommy is and or whatever with all these imams and whatever. I'm quite happy to start at the lower end because you get through to somebody Zubaydah's age and it will spread somewhat. Zubaydah's actually already admitted she doesn't want Sharia law here. She doesn't agree that it should be here. At that point, there is a discussion to be had. Now, why did I have Wendy Pooh storm in there while I'm in there talking to her on her channel in front of the Muslim community? Oh, play this, Den Tarragon, 6-minute edited video outside a mosque given to me by a fucking known troll of the left, Eric's crap bitch. Are you serious, Wendy Pooh? Me and you need a chat. And then off the back of that, you've got Jupiter and Moan calling me a racist. You need to be able to back it up, or you need to retract it. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. It's a pity calling someone a racist is not the same as calling someone a pedo, because I could drag all you cunts in court, couldn't I? But as it stands, it's just one of them things, isn't it? You say something, and I have to somehow defend myself away from it. Not really fair, but we are where we are. I don't care. I just don't care. For me, a political racist ideology which encourages the murder of children and the rape of children will always be spoke out about. Simple as that. The police and every authority give up on me a long time ago. They've got no want to come anywhere near me because they know it will put them in jeopardy. Simple as that. We've already crossed these roads. We've already dotted all the fucking I's and crossed all the T's. It's as simple as that. They know where they stand. I know where I stand. So we are where we are. I can't really add too much to it, to be honest. For me, the problems that I was first speaking out and pointing out, everybody's aware to. Everybody's awake to, rather. The lawful solutions to it, not so much. Everybody seems to be rather happy with the PooTube drama studio nonsense. To me, I won't take part in it. You're wasting everybody's time. You're detracting from actual discussions that needed to be had. Think of all the time that you've all wasted, all the hours, all the days, some people are doing PooTube like it's a fucking putting a shift in at work or whatever. Every day. And then they'll say, oh, it's not my life. It's like, well, you're on YouTube more than you're at work. So it kind of is. To what result? What have you achieved in all them hours that you've put in? What have you achieved? A long line of enemies. A short list of friends that you thought was your friends. What else have you gained from it? A bit of notoriety. People know your name on YouTube. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Ooh, how does that advantage your children? How does that advantage your grandchildren, your future generations? It doesn't, does it? So your little ego today is really not worth anything more than in your head. These channels are free. I've had 100 and whatever. They come, they go. They're free. It's a tool to get your message out there. That's it. The moment you think you're important and you're something special and whatever, and you're a judge of something, Paris's analysis of Jupiter going through a bucket of shit was pretty fucking. That's why I put it out there. To be honest, Paris doesn't say much that I agree with, but that was pretty bang on, and that's all we've been doing. This is why I've had so many tangles with Umbrella and said, look, just come away from it. We can do something better, but there needs to be enough of us doing something of worth, something fit for purpose, and people will come in that direction. But when people keep returning back to the rolling distraction and, oh, well, I've got to win this argument because they said this and he said this and she said that, you're just wasting your time and you're wasting everybody else's time and you're diluting the message the fucking lawful solutions, the discussions that could and should be going on. I don't care where they go on. I don't care if they go on Umbrella's channel. I don't care if they go on Jupiter's channel. I couldn't give a fuck where they go on. Wherever they go on, they go on. It's not important. It's just important that they are had. Simple as that. Now, I'm sick and tired of wasting my time around situations where people don't learn. You not only warn them, but you present them with facts and evidence to show them that you're right. People can't be asked looking at that. They look straight to, let's attack him, let's make a slander campaign. You've all seen it for as long as, 4 years, 5 years with the King's flag shit. You've still got people running about that think I've threatened to kill Sean Morris. It's mental. The lies will keep doing laps. The truth somewhere in the middle. People don't usually get to see the truth. They're too busy running about these damp corners of the internet, and the people can go on there and say, "Oh, you smell of, have you smell of 7-year-olds or whatever the shit they come out with?" It's like, have you really keep gonna coming out with this and a fucking 6-minute video that Eric fucking edited for you? It's sad. It's really sad. To me, the lefties have infiltrated this movement so much to the point where it no longer resembles the movement that I cared for and put blood, sweat and tears into it for. I've given up a hell of a lot to be around this. I've told people a long time ago, I'm borrowed to this movement. This movement found me, not the other way around. I was out doing my thing when this movement found me. Andy Edge stumbled across me. He'd been told about me on videos, this, that and the other. I weren't nothing to do with this movement. I was going around mosques for the first 9 months because I didn't think actually all of anybody do anything. So that's how racist they are. So we are where we are. People can think whatever they want to think. It's their entitlement. They can think whatever they want. All I would prefer is if you're going to put something out, put it out in its entirety and let people make up their own mind. Don't run about with no edited video. And for the people that have put it up and talk shit and whatever, just apologise. It's that simple. Apologise. I don't hold a grudge. We are where we are. A lot of people have fed shit. Look at Wendy. I mean, Jupiter's not looking back at the damage that her and Wendy have done over the period of time. It's easier, isn't it? People don't like when you look back, do they? You've seen what happens when I ask people to look back. They don't like looking back at the damage done that they've done. So we are where we are. You know, people like Danny Roscoe was being dragged through the internet on, was it Wendy's or Jupiter's? I can't remember. I won't say because I don't know, but it's one of the two. Oh, play this. It wasn't even Danny fucking Roscoe. So, you know, the facts and the evidence are not important. Just push it around. You never got an apology. All you get out of Jupiter now is, oh, I'm allowed on there. Okay, I didn't ask you that. I asked, did you apologise? You didn't, obviously not. It's beyond some people to apologise and admit that they fucked up. I fucked up loads of times. Everyone fucks up. It's what you do when you realise you fucked up. You've got to roll in your shit. It's as simple as that. I've said and done things. It's what it is. Once you've said and done it, there's no point crying about it. You've done it. Bam, done. Deal with the consequences. So I think that's about it. I don't even know if evening, freedom for Britain, Danny Simpson. It's one of them, isn't it? Look at all that with Danny Simpson. Do you know what I mean? Has any of that been rectified? I don't know if you caught that other show, Danny. Apparently you doxed yourself, blah blah blah. They're just trying to paint you the bad guy or whatever. Not look at any of the evidence and facts that show actually Hope Not Hate are in the mix and was right all the way up to the top with Anne-Marie Waters, who was wrapped around Tommy Robinson and being told, yeah, go and push Anne-Marie Waters, keep giving her your money. And she's fucked off with 150 grand. So you can't make this shit up, people. Do you know what I mean? But keep giving you money, keep signing pointless bits of paper that are going to get you nowhere. Keep set up loads of parties that won't ever gain any traction. The more you can dilute it, the better, because then we've got no chance of anything working, have we? This is a problem. We've diluted everything. We're all spread thinly across all these stupid apps, all these stupid groups, whatever. There's no consolidation of numbers anymore. The one thing we had that they don't have, the numbers. They've managed to spread here, there and everywhere and put you all in different boxes. Oh, I'm a Sivnat, you're a this, you're a that. What the fuck are you all doing? What the fuck are you all doing? This is some dumb shit. Nobody's ready to pick a side. I'm not talking down to anyone, but you're not ready. Nobody is to pick a side. You're not ready to join a group. You're not ready to fucking do whatever. There's open, honest conversation needed across the board, regardless. It doesn't matter what the topic is. It needs to be across the board, without favour. Only when you've got an educated population can you then go, right, okay, now I'm going to pick a side because I'm educated enough on a number of subjects around it to make a valid fucking choice. There's a lot of people that are just still, oh, you're a racist. Well, go on then, what fucking race am I against? Because Islam's not a race and Muslims are not a race, so we're in a predicament, aren't we? These lefties are stuck on stupid. They try to come with the higher, as if they're on higher ground, above you or whatever. These people are fucked. They don't know the difference between a race and an ideology. I can be against an ideology. I'm against many ideologies. Mark Collett's ideology, Nazi ideology, same shit. It's pretty much no fucking difference. The Quran is 67% hate of non-Muslims. That's fact. That's fact. So for all these dumb cunts like Danny Jones and all this other fucking lefty no good cunts, read the fucking book. I'm going to put a few videos on here to help you because Danny has to Google where Manchester United is. Danny has to Google what a finger blast is. Danny has to Google too much, man. It's fucked up. So I'm going to put a few videos on there. This is pretty much the last live I'm going to do. So I'll probably just add some videos to this for people to check out or not check out. Do what you want. I'm probably going to put something a bit more light-hearted up towards Christmas, just as a premiere. That's about it. So hope everyone's good. Look after each other, stay safe, and I'll catch you on the next one whenever that may be. I may pop around here and there. I'm not saying I'm disappearing offline. I always keep my eye out on things. People send me shit and whatever, but I'm not going to spend my time online when there's nothing fit for purpose at this moment in time. So for anyone that is realising that it is all pointless and whatever, so in a minute, we need to maybe have a regroup, a rethink, and some open discussions and see what we can do. We have got all the tools. We have got all the tools to do the job. I know that. I know that's fact. We just need some unity. So it's upon you lot, innit, in YouTube land. If you can't remove the fucking broken parts, then you're stuck with it. You're stuck with a broken machine. It ain't going to work. It's just going to keep setting out for failure. Simple as that. You can't keep giving your details to fucking scumbags that keep giving them out and expect a different result, can you? So, like I say, the people around Team Tommy, and I will name one of yous, Tom Fury, just because you was, oh man, the amount of time you had to deal with it and found a number of fucking reasons why not to was pretty shocking, to be honest, considering every time you sat in the back of the car with Tommy, you can't wait to get your phone out and do a quick video. Not 1 minute to just say, yeah, Tommy, you know, can I just have a quick word with you? Do you know about this? Sick, mate, sick. So enjoy the day, look after each other, enjoy the run up to Christmas, and I think that's it. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the people that did support me. That's about it. For the people that was throwing shit from the sidelines, I never forget. I never ever forget. So if you don't get an apology, just remember, I'll never forget. Okay, stay safe, people. Look after each other.
That's what we learn to be told. Most people